self-worth, net worth and life worth.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on a little bit about net worth and the importance of, what does that really mean? Like, throughout the magazine, I know because I know what it means, but for people listening and watching us today, what do you mean when you say net worth?
Well, net worth, it can be money, but really thinking about the sum of life. Where we are in our life right now is the sum of all of our thoughts and our actions and our decisions prior to now. So I'm talking to entrepreneurial women, and none of us start a business to not make more money, have a better life, elevate ourselves in our lifestyle, and to be able to give to others and help elevate other people through our products and services. And so net worth is equal in proportion to your self-worth. So, and that depends on the value that you bring to the market. And so this is why it's so important to take care of yourself and practice self-love, because the money will not come. Money goes from the hands of those who value it the least to those who value it the most. And I understand so many people. I hope everyone wrote that down. That's a gem. People have a real charge about money. So I want you to ask yourself right now, as I'm talking about money, how are you feeling about money? What are your beliefs around money? Do you have any money? And do you pay yourself first? So many entrepreneurial women pay everything and everyone first, and there's nothing left in their businesses.
Yeah, and look, that was another conversation that Amanda had with Emily Vavra. She's a very successful millionairess, and she was talking about just literally about that point, that in order to really earn the money that you, and as you said, it's not just about the money, it's a quality in life, and we're going to talk a little bit actually more about that later, but to actually really understand what you're worth and to value your own time. So if it's, I'll show you the clip. Well, let's have a look at
the clip. We'll come back.
Yeah, and we'll come back.
Many people are charged about money, and money is part of being successful. Money is part of our life and the entrepreneurial journey. And would you say that to be successful, of course, to become a millionairess in your own right in your business, you need to break through these limiting beliefs? And I know you would have done a lot of work with that. Is that correct?
Yeah. Absolutely. You have to, first of all, break through the limiting beliefs you're speaking of, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, to feel confident about asking for the sale, because we're all usually selling something, right? But also the value of your time. And I had to really learn the value of my time. And when I wanted to become a millionaire, my mentor said, okay, a millionaire makes $500 an hour. So how are you spending your time, and what kind of tasks are you doing? And can you hire somebody else to do what you're not great at? And, I really started shifting my focus, and my brain started to really be more transactional, be more return on investment, be more results based. And that's really when I became a businesswoman. When I just stopped wasting time and I started to value myself, therefore I valued my time, and I just stopped giving it all away.
So you heard there that Emily Vavra talked about, and I really love the line she said, where she said that she spoke to her mentor, and I want to be a millionaire, and they said, well, a millionaire earns $500 an hour. So you have to be really protective of how you spend your time, who you're spending your time with. And I know you've just talked about how for you that's critical, in that you value your time implicitly, and that but I guess what I'd like to dig into is, how did you come to valuing your time so much, Amanda? How did you know that you had to start valuing your time, and that you were putting your time, probably more importantly, in the right place?
I'm going to really talk to the heart and soul of the entrepreneurial woman, because I think that most of you, I believe we're all entrepreneurs. However, again, as women, we often, well, most likely, are so worried about what other people think about us, what other people are going to say. We can get around women and you feel pulled in so many different directions, trying to please and appease everyone. Then we've got the children, then we've got our partners, and we've got friends and relationships. And on top of that, we're trying to grow a business. And so it gets to the point where something's got to give. Either you're going to give or something else is going to give. And this is where we've got to become masterful at saying thank you, but no thank you. And when I go back to self-worth, this is really then honing in on how important is your family? How important are your own goals and dreams? How important is your future, your health and your well-being, everything? And so we've got to weigh up what's got to give, because we can't be everything to everyone. We can't do everything.
Yep.
And when it comes back to business again, it's very, very important how we perceive ourselves, because how we perceive ourselves is how our customers are going to perceive us. Where we spend our time and our energy matters. How we show up matters.
Yeah. So at the moment, there's a lot of us sitting out there that are, either working from home, or a lot of entrepreneurial women actually do work from home. That's their, their little businesses are created, not they're little, I don't mean little, but their businesses are created from home. It's their anchor. It's where they work from. So getting up in your pajamas and going to your desk is not something that you think we should be doing.
I'm not laughing at anyone. I mean, you're probably sitting there going, well, I'm in my pajamas. What's wrong with my pajamas, Amanda? Yeah. Look, here's the truth. And I've been in this space for 30 years, and I had to work my way through this. Countless mentors, countless time in the trenches, so many uphill moments, downhill moments, and everything in between. But here's what I have learnt, and I know from experience. Whatever we're wearing and however we're showing up affects our physiology, and we attract. How we feel about ourselves is who we are going to attract into our life. And so thinking about your business, put yourself in your customer's shoes. Whether you've got a home-based business or a bricks and mortar business, how are you showing up? I love to call this how you wrap your package truly matters. So think about your package as yourself. And so how you dress, how you do your hair or not, how you take care of your personal body.
The environment around you that you're working
your
in.
Environment. If it's in a clutter, if it's all cluttered and messy out there, it's cluttered and messy in here. And ask yourself the question, if somebody was to turn up on your doorstep today, your most valued customer, someone that you've been wanting to attract into your business for years, turned up on your door, knocked on the door, how would you feel if you opened it and you didn't know that they were coming? And so I truly believe that it does matter. And
I think some people might be going, oh no, I'm hiding, I'm going to hide and look out the curtain, I'm not going to let them in.
Because you change. You ask yourself the question, if you're in your daggy pants and you've got stains on your t-shirt and you haven't washed your hair for a week or something, and you're just not your best, you're not showing up, feeling your greatest. And then all of a sudden you've got to go to an important ball, you need to buy a gown, get your hair done, take care of yourself. Would you agree that you feel totally different?
Oh, it's the way you stand.
And you attract different people, different conversations, different elevations of net worth. If you want to attract more into your life, you've got to become more. That's one of the greatest lessons I've learned from the late Jim Rohn. I think that's worth writing down.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
So you become.
I think, and I completely and utterly agree that how you show up, and it can be, we can get a little bit sloppy with, taking into bad habits of, oh, well, no one's coming over today, and, I'll wear my tracky dacks, and, I've been guilty of the newsreader look where I've had, nice top on and then some comfy pants underneath, where I'm being on Zoom but nobody can see this bit.
That's okay.
Yeah, but it does. It changes the way you show up to everything. But even deeper than that, I wanted to, if we've got time to do it, we're not going to be able to dive right in, but I'd really like to touch on this so a lot of the reasons, entrepreneurial women and women in general can start to not wrap their package right is because they're not feeling great about their business. They're not feeling like they're loving what they're doing, and, they're just not, it's just not making their heart full. And I know you love it. Yeah, I know. And I wasn't. This is not on here. I'm throwing a left field.
I know where she's going with this.
Yeah, we read each other's minds.
This is for your benefit, gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do it, because I started to think about myself and, anyone else out there watching that might be going, yeah, but sometimes the reason I'm doing that is because I'm really unhappy, getting a bit teary.
How you feel showing up.
Yeah. So can you explain to those women why that might be? Like why when they turn up their laptop and they're facing their computer and they're not loving what they're doing, like what that could be? We can't dive into it too deeply today, but you can.
That's a whole masterclass on its own. I honestly know how that feels. I have been there so many times. And I understand how it feels to feel unworthy, lack of belief in myself, lost and confused. And what I discovered through 14 different businesses is that unless you are truly, authentically aligned, and I know those words get thrown around, but I'm truly talking purposely aligned with a business that is truly you, it is hard to feel good about yourself. It's hard to show up in an authentic way. It's hard to feel elevated with your self-worth and your self-love. Yeah. And so I say to every entrepreneurial woman that before you jump into a business, especially if you're thinking about getting into a business or you're wanting to scale up, before you do that, it is so critically important to invest in yourself, get to know yourself, and really learn to know who you are and what your true purpose is. Now, everybody talks about that word all the time, but we are all born with intrinsic gifts and talents, and it's about bringing those to the surface through soulful serving.
My favourite two words.
Soulful serving. Yeah. And when you truly are aligned with your business and you soulfully serve with your products and your services, then I've just got a smile just talking about it. You truly do get to tap dance to work, or you turn your vocation into your vacation. And this is the sort of stuff that I love to share with other women, because 7 of my businesses were miserable failures, and I'm so grateful. And 7 of them, through soulful serving and being aligned authentically with who I am, who I was born to be, have been we talk about success. However, I've got so far to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just starting on this.
Yeah, and I think soulful serving is such a beautiful 2 words. And
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And I think for a lot of women, the charge, like you talked around charge around money, and we're going to talk about that a bit more later, but the charge around sales and that word that just gives everyone this I don't want to, it feels icky and I don't love it. But what you have shared with me, and it's going to be coming up in future issues, is that if you learn to soulfully serve and you believe in what you're doing and that it's on purpose, share what it is. Like, how do you know that you're soulfully serving? What are the clues?
Please put a comment in the box if you have a thing around money you feel icky about asking for your worth
or a question
or the value that you bring. Yep. Soulfully serving simply means serving others in their values, taking the attention from you and the outcome that you want to get to solving a problem for somebody else. And think about it like a mentor. And you will know if you are speaking to someone whether your products or services can solve a problem for somebody else. It's not like trying to shove it down their throat.
Yes.
It's asking questions. And I say, if you learn to become masterful at question asking, is that a great...
Absolutely.
Is that a stated
trademark
question asking? You will naturally begin to sell from the soul or serve from the soul, because money is just an exchange. It's just energy. Yeah. And so you will make in exact proportion to the value you bring, to the service that you bring. And so I have a very healthy relationship with money. Kim Kiyosaki and I talked about it. She has a very healthy relationship with money. And we want you to have a very healthy relationship with money. Yeah. If you make money in your business, it simply means you care about other people. You're solving problems.
Yeah, you're serving
them.
Yeah.
And I want to do a whole masterclass on that particular... Give us a comment if you would love a masterclass on selling and serving or soulfully serving.
Absolutely. And I think, I'm going to put myself in the shoes of, whoever's watching us today, and I'm going to not play devil's advocate because I'm not that nasty. But I'd like to just pose some questions. So I've got an online business. I'm selling on whether it's Shopify or Amazon. And are you telling me that my little widget that I've got to soulfully serve? Is that what you're saying to the ladies out there?
I am. And it's the story. You just say it's a beautiful necklace or a watch or something like that, or a tea set.
Well, you soulfully served fitness equipment.
Okay, I'll give you a story. Something that's true. Yeah. Years ago, I used to sell fitness equipment on the internet, on my own website, and eBay, back in the day when eBay was massive. Years ago, I was a personal trainer, but I have such enthusiasm around fitness and health and well-being. It's my number one value. And so when I went to the market, I thought about all the things that I would love, all the problems that I would love to solve for people. And so that's where you can begin. What are the problems you can help other people overcome them? Because people always have money, to avoid pain or to solve a problem or to get a solution to something they want to avoid.
Yeah.
And so we used to manufacture and import fitness equipment, and I used to love it so much. And so through my copywriting, I would tell stories and things like that, and I'd do personal mentoring and give little things away and value add.
I hope you're all listening to this, because from a treadmill. So we're talking about a mechanical machine. Amanda's been able to create a
the number one seller.
There you go. A heart-filled business. So understanding that soulful serving, you know, when Amanda teaches a soulful serving, is that it's about finding, one, the problem that you're solving.
Yep.
And then it's two, it's weaving that through your entire business. So you heard Amanda just say then, I hope you wrote that down in your copywriting, whether it's your Facebook posts, it includes copywriting in those, that you are actually thinking about the problem that you're solving, rather than what we all get trapped into is, oh, it has a fast something or other and 5 speed. Yeah, what we call the features.
I've just got to share one thing there. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's okay for you, or that's not true. You know, the thing is this, just imagine you're on eBay or your website and there's thousands of people selling the same fitness equipment, which there were. But I put my heart and soul into that business. I called it my baby. I loved it so much. But more importantly, what I really loved is not the equipment. I loved the people. Now, write this down. Fall in love with serving the people, not your product or your service or anything like that. Yeah. And literally, we were making far more money, because back in those days they had auctions. Yep. We were selling our products and our fitness equipment for up to $200 to $300 more than the other competitors selling the same piece of equipment. Why? Because people could feel the love and the care through our copywriting. Because here's the truth, write this down, this is a golden nugget. People don't care how much you know, they want to know how much you care.
Yeah,
that's soulful serving.
Absolutely. And I think, again, we'll weave this back to where we started this
I'm just getting
section.
Up.
I know, have a drink. Yeah. Wet the lips. But we started...
Wet your whistle.
Wet your whistle. We started this section of what we're talking about who would have thought that we could start with pajamas, and we've ended up about soulful serving. But I think...
We weren't even talking about that today.
Yeah, no, we weren't. Like I said, I pulled it because it was just so important, because I was thinking about the entrepreneurial women out there, and that there's always it's a symptom of what's really going on. And I think that's a lot of it, is that they're not making the money they were hoping to out of their business. And and it comes back to, but it's almost like you've got to reverse engineer. In order to re-fall in love with your business, you have to spend the time, as what we talked about.
Fall in love with the people, not your business.
Yeah, and yourself, is to value yourself.
Love self. Yeah. Elevate self. Fall in love with your customers, those who you want to serve.
Yeah. So we've got self-worth.
Net worth elevates,
yeah,
and then we move into life worth.
Yeah,
they're the 3 things.
So we're going to get into life worth in a second, but I wanted to just touch on, again, I love to have a bit of for me, and I hope you're the same, is I like to be given, okay, I love what you're saying, tell me what I've got to do. So we've got the first lot of homework for self-worth. We've talked about that and what we want, to weave out maybe 15 minutes in the day just for themselves. So in order to help people move towards elevating their net worth, what would you suggest that these gorgeous women do? What is something that they can do right now to start moving them towards that 1 degree towards this place?
Think about the people that you would truly love to solve problems for. What is the need that they have? Yeah. What are the solutions that you could offer them? Yeah. And thinking about, we talked about wrapping your package. Yeah. How are you showing up in your business? What are people seeing? What do they perceive about you? So what I would say, the action step from that is, how can you just turn the dial by 1 degree, wrap your package a little differently by elevating your self-love, your self-worth? Yeah. And how could you focus more on attracting the customers into your business that you want? Yep. What are the problems that you could solve in your business that could truly attract the type of client or the type of customer that will pay you more for your value of service? Yeah. Soulfully serving.
So we're going to sit down and we're going to go through and look at who is the person that we're really serving. And I'm already ahead to my next question, because I've got one, if that's okay, is, what if I don't love what I'm doing? What if I sit down and I have that moment where I'm starting out? How do I really dive into what it is that I know it's a big question.
This is a big question.
But I mean more just a little snippet of, what if we send these lovely women off to do their homework and they go, well, actually, I absolutely detest what I'm doing. You've had to have that conversation with yourself. So
I have many times.
Yep.
To be quite honest, I have not loved what I'm doing, and so I have learnt the power of taking the focus off myself and asking myself, how is this not in the way but on the way? Who am I serving? How am I changing other people's lives? And how can I turn my own life compass dial by just 1 degree?
Yeah.
But also, Robin, I've had the discussion with myself when I've just known I am in the wrong vehicle. And it's not a failure.
No.
It's a symptom. The way that, we know if we don't feel good
stone.
about it, it's okay. Don't feel like a failure. I've had 14 businesses. 7 of them were not right for me, and I've had to learn along the way. And sometimes it's like a jacket that doesn't fit anymore, or a car that's just not right for you. A bit like your car breaking down yesterday, and you've gone, this is not the right car for me. I'm getting a new car.
Yeah, and I knew it, and I've been saying it for the last 3 or 4 months, and then the universe gave me the ultimate slap, and there it was, right there in front of me.
So don't feel like a failure. Sometimes you've just got to know that you know that you know.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And so you can readjust, realign. And then if you find your true, not find your true purpose, discover or, unravel your own purpose, which is not hard. We can talk about that on another time, and start to think about the people you'd love to serve and create a business around that. And you can truly elevate your self-worth and your net worth. I know it because I've done it 7 times in 7 businesses, and it's a different payoff. It's not only a financial payoff, it's a soul payoff. So mentally and emotionally, it's every area of your life is different when you truly create and scale a business that is truly aligned with you.
Yeah.
And it's not difficult.
So I think everyone needs to take a big breath now.